Let's shift gears into this Department of Justice article, something I've been wanting to get into for the last couple of days. Busy show we've had this week so far, so I'm excited we actually have some time to dive into it as of now, although I'm desperately trying to get it to share my screen onto the right screen. It says the browser cannot access your screen. Thanks for that, StreamYard. Let's try one more time.
Do I have to be the hero again?
I'm might. Ready. It does not like me. Yeah, it will not do it. Yep, it won't do it. It won't do it. If you just Google...
I'll find it.
Department of Justice.
I actually did my homework on this one, you guys. Believe it or not. I read this article over the weekend a couple times through just because I was fascinated by it. Boom. And we're going to go for the share now. Got it pulled up.
Yeah,
this is start our own news website, you guys.
Yeah. This was a crazy story. It's something that came out, I believe, last week. And it was something that was talked about a lot on online communities. Definitely a shocking thing. It seems like everybody that I've spoken to amongst that time has heard about it. And that's the Department of Justice suing 3 major national carriers along with 3 major national publicly traded call centers. So let's kind of go through this. Okay, where do we want to begin?
Trump administration on Thursday filed a lawsuit against 3 of the country's biggest insurance companies, accusing them of shelling out hundreds of millions in illegal kickbacks to insurance brokers, in exchange for enrollments into the insurer's Medicare Advantage plans.
Can I just jump in real quickly? Right off the bat, every article I've seen about this, and there's several, the headlines in the articles, every single detail references the call centers as insurance brokers. Now, are they technically insurance brokers? Sure, certainly. But that being said, when you think about the term insurance broker, and certainly the average person thinks about the term insurance broker, are they thinking about an eHealth or a Select Quote? No. They're thinking about you and me. They're thinking about brick and mortar office. They're thinking about agent sitting down at the kitchen table. So people reading this in passing are probably reading this and they're like, oh, my agent's a criminal, a shithead. You know, like, why can't they say call center? It just blows my mind. It's either ignorance or it's calculated. It's one of the two, but I don't like it regardless.
It's one of those things where, like, technically, like by technicality, they're not lying, right? Like, Go Health is an insurance broker. Brokerage, maybe. Maybe brokerage would be a better term, because broker sounds like an individual person to me, right? Like you're saying.
One guy.
A brokerage sounds like a company. So maybe it's that simple, honestly. But there is something that it hurts me when I read that sentence, because I do feel like they're talking about me. I feel like I'm being lumped into this.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of this. I haven't seen any of this money. Okay?
Listen, you can use my name if I'm in the top 6 producers in the nation, okay? If I'm selling some of the most insurance in the U.S. Christian may have froze on me for a second. He's back. Christian, are you back with us? He's back.
I am back. You hear me, Newsweek? I didn't see any of that money.
Christian had a near-death experience right there, but he's back and still broke. Okay, moving forward here.
I got so triggered that my internet went out on me.
Interesting stat here that I thought was accurate, in my opinion. The Congressional Budget Office projects that if the current trend holds, 64% of Medicare beneficiaries will be enrolled on a Medicare Advantage plan in the next 10 years. So 10 years from now, it is 2035. Terrifying number.
That's conservative, in my opinion.
That's conservative. Yeah, I would agree.
I mean, we're already almost at 60%. So you're saying it's only going to grow by an additional 4%, maybe slightly more over the next 10 years? No. It'll probably grow to 70%. I don't know. But
I think it depends. Some of these, there's some areas where it's almost like a ceiling, in the sense of, will the networks ever reach out to some of these more rural areas? That's the secret, as far as like what that multiple ends up becoming. If these networks figure out a way to expand into rural areas, it could be 80% in 10 years. You know, I mean,
and you look at areas, right? Like you look at rural areas of Utah, you look at areas like Mississippi, where they could never get the networks figured out. And today they have.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like
Right.
the trend has moved more towards that happening more so than it's moved away from it.
So here's where names get named. What to know? Thursday's lawsuit was filed in Massachusetts again in the names Aetna, Elevance Health, formerly Anthem, Humana as its defendants. It also names 3 insurance brokerages as defendants, eHealth and an affiliate, GoHealth, and Select Quote Inc. Again, all 3 of these, this is what I found most interesting about this story is that they really cherry picked the 3 biggest call center publicly traded entities, right? I mean, what's interesting is, and I think we've speculated about this before, or maybe we even had some stats we had pulled from, but it's something like the combo of these 3 alone. I mean, how many applications do you think they're responsible for from
A
a
lot.
percentage base? It's something massive, like 15% or something, 20% probably, all 3 of them combined. So, they can't sue every broker, right? They can't sue all of us, but this is essentially like aiming for Goliath, in my opinion, right?
Well, also like the way the article kind of unfolds and we'll kind of peel this as we go, but it paints the picture that there is special under the table marketing
Yes.
fund co-op deals that are being done for
Bonuses,
these
yeah.
groups, bonuses,
Yeah.
things like that. So while it might look that way, I mean, how could they go after you and me or the average agent when we don't have some special deal with a carrier like that? Like these big organizations, that's kind of what they're accusing them of. Like you've worked out some deals that go beyond what's acceptable and normal for other agencies.
It's
kind of what
so
I'm reading.
vague. It's so vague though that, and we'll keep going here, but it's so vague that I don't know if that's even the case, right? Like, are they just talking about marketing dollars? Are they just talking about commissions? Are they talking about some sort of secret backdoor kickback scheme where certain entities do have access to certain funds? It's so vague that, I don't know what to think, but we'll keep rolling here. So Newsweek reached out to all 6 defendants for comments via email. The Medicare Advantage program allows Medicare beneficiaries to enroll in private insurance companies' Medicare Advantage plans. Let's see. According to the complaint, the broker organizations incentivize their employees and agents to sell plans based on the insurer's kickbacks. Set up teams of insurance agents. Now we're really getting targeted here because this is definitely us. If we weren't brokers, we're definitely insurance agents who could sell only those
center
plans.
agents, right? This is like employee call center agents. Is the way I'm reading this.
These are call centers, so it would
Correct.
make sense that this is essentially an LOA agent of said call centers, right?
So read it from the beginning, right? According to the complaint, the broker organizations incentivized their employees and agents. So they don't have downline. Their agents are call center agents, right?
Yeah, I'm talking about the terminology. When I say this is definitely us, the terminology of insurance agent, right? If the layman is reading this article and they see the term insurance agent, they're definitely thinking Joe Schmo on the corner, right? So that's where I'm talking about. But yes, you're absolutely right. They're talking about the call center LOA agents in this context, who could sell only those plans and at times refuse to sell Medicare Advantage plans of insurers who did not pay sufficient kickbacks.
See, that's crazy. That's wild. If that's actually happening, shame on those call centers. It's essentially cutting off the client's ability to make an informed decision at that point.
Steering, the definition of steering, right?
Yeah. That's gross.
So without being inside these entities, we have no idea what's really going on. Hopefully the truth comes out, right? Whether it's good, bad, or ugly. That's what I'm personally hoping for, is let's figure out what's really going on here. A lot of this is alleged.
Yes.
In the complaint. We don't know exactly what's going on. It could be hyperbole on either side of this. So if you had to guess, though, do you think it could be something as blatant as, one of these call centers is looking at their total production and they're like, we need 1,000 more Humana apps, guys. Nobody sell anything but Humana for the next 2 weeks.
I mean, remember, these are the same groups that if you called them 2 years ago, which I did personally, if you wouldn't give them your Medicare number at the very start of the call, they'd hang up on you. They wouldn't even give you a quote. They wouldn't talk to you. Is that compliant behavior? No. When have they ever given a damn about compliance? Right? Like I've said the last couple of years now that the number one reason, in my opinion, that the consumer experience got so bad, there's plenty of reasons, there's lots of them, but the number one reason we had all these rules coming down upon us was because of these three organizations and the way they were doing business, in my opinion. I think it was just so blatantly bad. So I wouldn't put anything past them. These organizations are Satan as far as I'm concerned.
So
allegedly Satan.
A couple things here, and then we can kind of continue to discuss what this means and what the future of something like this looks like for us, the average agent. So I thought this was interesting that they're being sued under the False Claims Act, which allows the government to sue individuals and companies that it believes has defrauded it. So the Department of Justice is literally looking at this as they have been defrauded, that these companies have defrauded Medicare. Very Doge type feeling to the, whole atmosphere right now with the new administration, which again, this is all alleged, right? Was fraud actually committed here, or, we'll find out. Now it goes into statements from all of these different companies. And what I found was kind of funny about this is every company kind of took this as it's like a company PR pitch moment, and I'll give you an example here. So Elevance said in a statement to Newsweek after the story was published, Elevance Health and its affiliated health plans are committed to delivering high quality healthcare services. We are confident that our health plans have complied with and continue to comply with the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, CMS, marketing and broker compensation rules and regulations, rules, and guidelines. And then they all use this word. We intend to vigorously, they all said vigorously, fight the allegations in this complaint. So no one was like, my bad. No one was like, we did a little something. Everyone, swore to their innocence and said they're going to be fighting this complaint. It's kind of more of the same from all
parties involved.
They all plan to fight the lawsuit in court. And the deputy general in a statement said, healthcare companies that attempt to profit from kickbacks will be held accountable. We are committed to rooting out illegal practices by Medicare Advantage insurers, insurance brokers that undermine the interests of federal healthcare programs and the patients that they serve. That being said, thoughts, feelings, concerns?
Yeah, I think like you said, there's a lot of information we don't know. Everything about this is alleged at this point, right? So it's all allegedly in the air. We don't know exactly what's going on. That being said, from the things I do know, from things I've seen personally with these groups, it wouldn't surprise me. I think if the argument is there's marketing funds being delivered from certain carriers and that's incentivizing enrollments into certain carriers, that's one thing. There's not a lot of details there. What does that actually look like? Is it some special sweetheart deal that the average insurance agency or agent is not privy to? That's one thing that's kind of in a cloud, if you will. You don't really know the details on that. But the details about they have to meet certain quotas and there's certain agents and employees within these organizations that they'll get on the phone with someone and they're only allowed to sell one plan or one carrier. That's horrific to me.